Hello, everyone. This is Bobbert Robertson. I'm back for my second installment of the Ask Bobbert YouTube television uh, series. And today I'm going to be answering some questions because it's called Ask Bobbert. The reason that it's called Ask Bobbert is because, part of the idea of it is that you would ask me questions, and then I could, with whatever advice that I can give, I could help you with your questions that you're asking me. So anyways, we've had several questions from some viewers. So the first one here is it's from Andrew in in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Andrew writes. He writes, "Bobbert, I need some serious psychotherapy. Is that your thing? 'Cause I need a good swift kick in the head." So, Andrew, the first thing that I'd like to say is I can't say whether you need psychotherapy or not. It's not for me to say that. That's for you to decide for yourself. Now, what I can say is that I find it slightly worrying that you should equate psychotherapy with a good, swift kick in the head, because sort of psychotherapy is kind of the opposite of a good swift kick in the head. A good swift kick in the head, it's sort of aggressive, you know what I'm saying? But psychotherapy actually, the ideal as I understand it with psychotherapy is, so it's like, it's as if someone had given you a good swift kick in the head when you were younger, and then the psychotherapy, what it actually does is it's like it removes the boot. It's like, because every time someone kicks you, metaphorically speaking, in your life, it's sort of like you get a boot, or like an imprint of a boot lodged in your head. So the idea of psychotherapy, first of all, the first idea is that you become aware of the fact that you have a boot stuck in your head. I mean, because that's very important. Because if you've had a boot stuck in the side of your head for most of your life, you may not realize it. You may not even know it's there. You may go around and wonder why people are looking at you funny all the time, as if you're doing funny things or something, and you don't realize that there's this boot sticking out of the side of your head. So it's perhaps a popular misconception that, you might go to psychotherapy because you're doing something wrong, but that's not it. That's not it. You don't. It's not an aggressive art. It's the opposite of an aggressive art. So say your daddy was mean, right? I don't want to say anything about your past because I don't know about your past. I don't know anything about it. So anyways, but say your daddy was mean, and he used to say mean things to you. Well, you get those ideas stuck in your head. Even though it's his words become your thoughts. And that's the boot that you have stuck in your head. And you walk around with this thing sticking out of the side of your head. And people interact with you in very strange ways because you've got this problem, this boot sticking out of the side of your head. So psychotherapy is about first becoming aware of the boot, and then gently removing the boot from the side of your head. It's a gentle process. Because if you pull it out all at once, there's going to be a big hole in the side of your head, and that's not very helpful for anybody. Like, nobody wants a big hole in the side of their head. You get used to having that boot in there, and then when the boot gets taken out, well, you got to do it gently, because you. And the other thing is, you need to find a way to heal that hole where the boot was. So first of all, you have to remove the boot, and then you need to find you need to heal the hole. So anyways, that's what I think that psychotherapy is, or it's one of the things that it can do. It can remove the footwear that many of us have in our heads. So I hope that's helpful, Andrew. And that leads me actually into my second question, which comes from Dusty. So Dusty says, "What advice do you have for someone who is going into the counseling field?" Well, my advice for you, Dusty, I'm assuming that you are, well, actually, I know this because I actually know you're a friend of mine. But anyway, I'm going to pretend I don't know you, except that I'm being obvious about it. So anyway, if you're going into the counseling field, so if I have any advice for people going into the counseling field, I think it's sort of relating back to all that boot business that we were just talking about. So I think probably the most important thing that you can do when entering the counseling field is to start by removing the boots that you already have in your own head. That's probably the most important thing you can do, because otherwise you're going to go into your counseling sessions and you're going to be kicking people in the head with the boots that you've got sticking out of your head. So I would just say that the first thing, it's sort of like that thing in the Bible about remove the log from your own eye before you try and remove the splinter from someone else's. So that's kind of what it is. Like, remove the boot from your own head before you worry about other people's boots. That's my advice for you, Dusty. So we have 2 more questions. I'm going to try and be quick because I'm trying to keep this. We're already at almost 6 minutes, and I was going to try and keep it at 4. So, okay. So the next question is, I have a question. It's actually a question from my son Trudell. He asks, "Who is Princess Leia? Thanks." Well, so that one was from Mary, also in Albuquerque. And Mary, so normally I only answer sort of directly counseling questions because, well, it's a counseling program. That's what it's for. But in this case, because we're talking about a young person, and he has a serious question, and I'd like to address that question. So my answer is, Princess Leia is the only positive female role model in the original 3 Star Wars movies. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that, because I mean there are a lot of other, complicated ways to put it. But if you think deeply about it and you watch those movies, you're going to realize that there are not a lot of female role models, and the only one that there really is Princess Leia. So whereas for boys, or for people who are oriented towards the male genre, there are many different, well, they call them in Jungian psychotherapy, they call them archetypes. So there's the Han Solo, who's sort of the rugged, independent type, as his name might suggest. And there's Luke Skywalker, the young dreamer. And there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's the mystical saint kind of thing. And then there's the Darth Vader, who's really bad, but it's redeemed in the end. And then there's the Emperor, and he's just, there's nothing really good about him. But so if you're a boy, or if you're oriented towards boy-like things, there's many role models. But if you're a girl and you're oriented towards girl-like things, or even if you're a boy and because that sometimes happens. Anyways, there's really only one, and it's Princess Leia. So she's both important because she's there, but she's also important because in a way she symbolizes the absence of other female role models, or even archetypes that one could project one's personality or consciousness into. So that would be the simple answer. The complicated answer is a lot longer. So we do have one more question, but I'm actually going to keep it at these 3 because I'm well over my time limit. And so please feel free to write more questions. You can write them right under this video. I recommend that you do it under this video because I'm more likely to find them there. Or you can write them directly on my timeline if you're looking at my Facebook page, or there's another option, which is you can send me a personal email at drbobbert, DOCTORBOBBERT, @gmail.com. So that's also another option. I've been thinking about learning how to tweet, but I don't really know how to do that, so it may take a little while before that is up and running. Or you can write it on the YouTube page, because you can visit the YouTube page too. So anyways, that's very long-winded. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon, in a couple of days, as soon as I get some more questions. All right, thank you very much, and goodbye, everybody.